Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing my 189th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of the Red Pyramid Thing from Silent Hill 2. Now taking a look at the front, we can see a lot of what I'm assuming is blood with the Silent Hill 2 wording at the front. Turning the box around, we can see an image of the figure and all the things that come in this set. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Red Pyramid Thing, which is freaking gnarly. Okay, now straight off the bat, I really don't know much about Silent Hill. I've never really been a huge fan of the game. I'm not really a giant horror fan, but I've always been fascinated with this character. This is a character from Silent Hill 2, so this is a different version, I guess, from the original version. I don't know. I guess there's a different versions between the Pyramid Head and Red Pyramid Thing. I guess those are two different things. So help me figure that out because I really don't know. But either way, I've always wanted a really cool figure of this character. It's just, I think he's so unique. And then I think Figma made one, maybe SH Figuarts. But now that Mezco made one, I was like, definitely to pick this one up. And I am very happy with what we got here. First of all, this thing just looks crazy. What a wild looking design. It's just weird and gross. I love how grimy the arms are. I mean, you can see how just gnarly painted that thing is. It's all kinds of dirty and gross. I do love that a lot. You got some blood splatter on the hands and things like that. Even like the soft goods has like blood spots all over, which looks really worn and gross. There's a bendy wire here in the coat, so you can pose that around, which I think it looks really cool. You even got some of that blood spots on the pants there. The boots look really good as well. I love the detail on the boots, painted on the buckles. You got peg holes at the bottom. I do think this is such a rad look design. You have a working zipper on the back there, which looks really cool. And these arms are just gross, dude. I'm pretty sure that this is a unique body mold with all this detailing things. Correct me if you've seen this before. It might come with another figure I really don't remember, but still looks really gross. I'm going to pop the head off here so you can see more of the body. We got this really long coat. You got some faux leather straps here, some like copper like buckles, which I think look really cool as well. And you can see more of the back assembly like that. So you can unzip this and take this whole thing off and more or less see what this undersuit looks like. I'm not going to do that in the video here, but it looks really, really cool. Just a gnarly looking character. Now we do get two head portraits with this guy. I mean, you could see the crazy amount of sculpted detailing, the denting, the scratching, the dirtiness of this. It just looks crazy. But even underneath on the inside, look how wildly sculpted that is. I don't know if that's supposed to be his brain, some type of growth that just took over this whole thing. I don't know, but it is gross. I don't like it. It's disgusting. But man, they did such a good job with that. Now, we also got this version. Now, again, I don't know if one is the original version, one is a modern version for part 2. I don't know. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Is this the newer version or is this the older version? I don't know. Is this part 1, part 2 maybe? Again, I really don't know. But this one looks really cool too. This one doesn't have all the grossness on the inside, but I do love the design. The design of that looks really good. Again, you can see all that dry brushing in there with the blacks. Brings out some of the sculpted detail. Looks super cool. And both of these fit very nicely on the figure. Again, very cool, unique design. Again, I've never been a big fan of the games, but this character is just so unique that I definitely had to have him in the collection. Moving on to more of his accessories, we of course do get the Mezco circular base stand with the simple Silent Hill logo printed atop there, and then we do get the clear articulated arm. We also do get a bunch of interchangeable hands, things like closed-fisted hands, different types of gripping hands for gripping his different types of weapons or tools or killing utensils, whatever you want to call them, and different types of open palm hands for stylized posing, things like that. All of those work very, very well. We also do get these, I think they're called creeper bugs, but man, to me, they're just little demon roaches. I freaking hate those things. They are so gross and gnarly, but you know, honestly, I was looking at these and they are actually really beautifully sculpted and detailed. They get two versions, so you get this one that's kind of like more like crawling, and you have this one that's more like standing up. You can see the different like poses they have here, but the paint is just crazy detailed for such little things. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, these little demon roaches are gross. I hate cockroaches. These cucarachas are just disgusting, and to be honest with you, when I pulled them out of the box, I almost didn't even want to touch them, even though I know they're just little plastic toys. I felt uncomfortable just having them in my hands. So I could definitely see people even pulling pranks, maybe on their families with these. It's just, I don't like it. I think they're disgusting, and they need to burn in hell, all of them. So next up, we actually do get his weapons here. You got this big cleaver-like sword, which again is just crazy detailed with all this dirtiness and scratches and dents. It's pretty wild, man. Well, you do got a specific gripping hand because this is a very wide handle, so you do get a wider grip for this thing right here, and it could be a little tricky to put on. You just got to kind of rotate it in the hands there, but you could get it on there, and it works out very cool. It's just an insane, huge looking killing tool. We also do get this like spear like thing. Again, I don't know if this is from part 1, part 2, or the same character just carries both weapons throughout the game. I really don't know, but again, it is really nicely sculpted. But we also get a ton of blood effects, which I think is pretty rad. You get just different kinds and different types of sizes. It works out really, really cool in all the things you get here. So you got ones where you could use like the spear. There's a little hole right in there, so it looks like he's stabbing something like that. And you got the blood splattering all over like that, so I think that's really cool too. You got ones like this with this nice swirling swoosh effect like that. Now these two right here are the exact same blood effect, just in different sizes. They're exact same sculpt. They do fit around the edge of the blade like that, so he's like slashing at something, the blood just flying off the blade there. I think that works really cool too. We also get this one. Now I'm going to bring in a Wolverine, Mezco Wolverine here. This one is pretty interesting because it kind of like wraps around the waist. So I don't know if you want to do it like that, and it makes it look like, I don't know, maybe he's being cut in half or he's being stabbed or something. Maybe do it from the back and maybe look like his blood's coming out, like he's being, again, stabbed from behind. I mean, depending on your photography, how you want to use that. I think this is a pretty interesting effect piece. I've never seen a company do something like this. So that, I think that's really cool, and Mezco does great stuff when it comes to their effect pieces, so I really love that. And then the last thing we get is basically another figure. We get the Mannequin, and I remember when I first saw the Mannequin, I was thoroughly creeped out. This thing is so gross. I've said that a lot throughout this video. This whole thing is gross. Maybe that's why I don't like Silent Hill all that much, but I mean, you can see how just disgusting this is, but beautifully sculpted. The crooked, twisted legs, and then the legs without feet attached as arms, and I don't know, man. This thing can kind of like rotate at these like hip joints and these arm joints over here, but that's about it. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I mean, since the feet are molded, or excuse me, are glued in place, they're a separate piece, but they're glued in place at a certain angle, and it does have peg holes. You could stand him only in the one way. So I don't know the point of the posing, maybe just that's how the mold works. But either way, I don't like it. It's a thing of nightmares. I hate it so much. I never want to see this thing in person. I don't like it at all. And again, I hope it just burns in hell and I never want to see it again. Okay, so now let's talk about articulation here. So honestly, with the head, you're not going to get a whole lot of motion just because this thing is so big and bulky. And that works for both heads. So, I mean, don't expect a whole lot. Arms can go full 360, like so, up and out all the way that far. You can see how deep that shoulder cut is. So it goes up pretty far. We do get a butterfly joint in there. We got rotation at the bicep. We got double jointed elbows that work very nicely. Rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. You do get a double ball peg in the midsection. That rolls around, does turn left and right, pivots side to side, crunches back and forth pretty decently. Hip joints that kick forward up and that far, back not so much, splits out only about that far. Rotation in the upper thigh, double jointed knees, a little bit of rotation at the boot, and the ankles are on ball pegs, roll around, up and down, and a slight ankle rocker. I wish that was a little bit better, but overall, damn dude, again, I've said it again, I was never into Silent Hill. I did think the games are just scary and gross, and I'm a complete wimp when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I've always thought this character was just so interesting. And now that I finally have him in a figure in a line that I absolutely love, I could not be more stoked. So if you're into the game, you're into horror at all, or if you want a really just gnarly looking villain, I think he is totally badass and definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to a 112 Collective Green Ranger and Wolverine. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Red Pyramid thing from Silent Hill 2. And as I've said in this video, I don't really know jack about Silent Hill. I'm not really a giant horror fan, but holy crap, this figure is incredible. Mezco did a fantastic job when it comes to the detailing of not just the body itself, but the head sculpts are gorgeous, the weapons are beautifully detailed, the blood effects are so badass, even the little demon cockroaches that I cannot stand are just beautifully sculpted and painted. It's really crazy to see the amount of detail they even put into those. The soft goods are great with the bendy wire and the bloody stains all over it. Even that mannequin creature just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. I don't like this thing at all, but at the same time, I love it. He's incredibly detailed, incredibly articulated, and one of the coolest horror/video game figures I think I've ever owned. He's really that awesome to me. So if you love Silent Hill, I think he would look great in any of your Mezco collections. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.